Coming up, a busy night for police in Sioux Falls as they investigate 3 shootings. We have the details straight ahead.
Plus, a fire chief suspected of drunk driving, how the case is being handled in Brookings. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We first told you about multiple shootings in eastern Sioux Falls on KELOLAND News at 10 Tuesday night. Sioux Falls police first responded to one on East Ronning Drive, where police say 2 men were doing cocaine and possibly marijuana when one of the men became paranoid and started firing his gun. One of the rounds went through a wall and struck a man in the leg.
The suspect fled and then went to a trailer home on Rochelle Place where he began firing his gun again, but thankfully no one was hurt. Police arrested the man, but his name hasn't been released yet.
In a third and unrelated incident, police responded to a shooting near 11th and SNEVE, where another man had been shot in the leg after an argument. Again, the suspect had fled before police arrived.
We have an idea or know who the suspect is, but no arrests have been made at this point.
The man who was shot in the leg in that third incident is also expected to survive.
Rapid City police are searching for a man who is considered armed and dangerous in connection with the homicide on the city's north side. Authorities say 40-year-old Antoine Bissonnette is a person of interest in the case.
Around 10:30 Tuesday night, police responded to a welfare check. That's where they found a man dead in a garage. Investigators say his injuries are consistent with a homicide. Anyone who knows of Bissonnette's location is asked to call Rapid City Police.
There's another way to contact 911 for an emergency in South Dakota if you can't call. Earlier this week, the state launched its Text to 911 program.
Public safety officials say if you're in an emergency, you should still call 911 if you can. But if you're unable to, you can now text. Lincoln County's communications supervisor says it's another tool to help serve the public.
We are the first responders in those cases. We may not physically be on scene, but we are the first ones there. We're the first communications level with those people, and this technology gives us a way to do that more safely.
The Department of Public Safety says Text to 911 is not 100% activated in Todd County yet.
You can find information on how to text 911 by clicking the link in this story on KELOLAND.com.
Turning to weather now, parts of KELOLAND saw some much-needed moisture to start the week.
But what could we see to end the week? Let's find out with meteorologist Scott Munt.
Well, it could be another round of rain in parts of eastern and southeastern KELOLAND as we go through the day tomorrow. Look for increasing chances for a shower or two, mainly across eastern and southeastern South Dakota, where a quarter-inch of rainfall is really not out of the question. In the meantime, today, we're starting to see your sunshine, so sunny and dry for today. But as I mentioned, that rain does return late in the day tomorrow and may last into Saturday morning for some of us in eastern and southeastern KELOLAND as temperatures remain above average. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. The Brookings fire chief is facing DUI charges following an arrest made last weekend. Just before midnight on Friday night, Brookings police made a traffic stop. Fire Chief Daryl Hartman was behind the wheel.
After some sobriety tests, the officer arrested Hartman for driving under the influence. He was taken to the county jail and released early Saturday morning on bail.
Mr. Hartman will be treated just like any other individual who's charged here at the State's Attorney's Office. There was an investigation done by the Brookings Police Department. I reviewed that report. There will be a complaint filed, but that case will be handled just like all the other cases here at the State's Attorney's Office.
Hartman's court date is set for April 26. A man who drove over a retaining wall with his vehicle in Sioux Falls is now facing several charges. Police say the crash happened on 10th Street just east of I-229 Tuesday night. The man told police he was on his phone and wasn't paying attention.
Officers discovered that the 25-year-old Dalton Morrison was under the influence of something. Police believe Morrison was huffing or ingesting a substance. He was charged with DUI and a few traffic violations.
The South Dakota Highway Patrol is asking for information from anyone who may have witnessed an injury crash that happened Tuesday in the southbound lanes on Interstate 229 near Louise Avenue.
Authorities say one vehicle was stopped in the driving lane and another was near the guardrail when the first was rear-ended. After much discussion, the Rapid City School Board decided to follow through with hosting prom on its original date. However, this year's event might look a little different.
In order to be safe, there will be some major changes, which includes precautions like a mask requirement and limited capacity.
It feels really good because, again, we've made so many sacrifices, especially in the beginning of the year, like with homecoming. Being on homecoming court wasn't as it used to be because we didn't have the dance we didn't get to go to. At least we still got to walk on the football field, but we had to make so many sacrifices like that this year, which is why it feels so good to have a prom now. I just want things to go back to normal with also being safe.
The event will be held at the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center in the Don Barnett Arena on April 17th. A local mother is offering a big thank you to the man who found and returned her wallet last week.
Not only was the wallet returned, but it also contained a special surprise: extra money.
My heart kind of stopped. I mean, it's been crazy with 2 kids and day in and day out that, like, I don't know, it just almost made me cry. I'm not going to lie.
A past co-worker of Kim Bramer's found the wallet and decided to return it with some extra cash and a note congratulating her on her new daughter.
Bramer says the kind act reminded her that there are good people all around us. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian KARSTENS. Brian?
All right, weather today looking partly cloudy. Looks like overall pretty mild temperatures. We will be a little above normal for this time of the year. South winds will be strongest in the Pierre area in central South Dakota, 15 to 25. Sioux Falls will start to pick up a southeast wind as well. Now, cloud cover will be increasing the next 24 hours. We are forecasting that cloud cover tomorrow, eventually giving way to some rain chances. Now, first look at this on Futurecast looks like rain in Nebraska Friday midday and then spreading northward in the late afternoon into the evening. So that's our thought there, and then that may persist a little bit into Saturday morning. Right now, we're kind of keeping the rain projection here between 1/10 and 1/4 inch, but there's some room for a couple of those numbers to go up a little bit more. Worthington may be an example just to pick that one up here this morning. So we'll keep watching those trends, but you'll notice it's mainly the same areas that had the rain earlier in the week. Those that missed out probably missing again. And then there's this big warm-up in time for Easter weekend. It looks like those first few days of April are going to be warming up. We'll see just how warm it gets, but that could be a big talker too here. So interesting patterns to watch. I don't expect a lot of rain, though, next week. We may warm to 70 on Monday in Sioux Falls, and then a dramatic cold front will swing us down here Tuesday into Wednesday. That's typical at the end of March. We're also looking at that swing in Aberdeen up to 70 on Monday. After the weekend, rain chances should depart by Saturday. And again, maybe a little tough call on Aberdeen getting that rain that far north. Pierre also, chance of a shower, but we're not looking at significant amounts of rain. And then, of course, as dry as it is, north of Pierre, we're going to look at 70s, mid-70s. Likely on Monday with that wind. And Rapid City, too, will get a pretty big bounce on temperature Sunday and Monday before a dramatic cool down on Tuesday. Check out more details with our Storm Center update at KELOLAND.com.